Hi everyone, it is Fitz with your post-game talk. As you can tell, I'm not in Ames. Zach Carlson and Ryan Gilbert were there to provide coverage for GoPowercat. I covered stuff from here in the studio. And what a strange game that was. K-State falls way behind in the first half to get off to an awful start. But something happened in that first part of the game that kind of set an unsettling tone for this contest. Cam Carter picked up 2 fouls. Before the under 16? No. Before, K-State scored? Well, yeah. But it was only less than a minute in, 36 seconds into the game. One of K-State's best players goes to the bench with 2 fouls. It was just strange. K-State fell behind, got down by 12 at halftime, 14 earlier in the second half, and then here they came. I'll give Jerome Tang's group this. They may be inconsistent, but they battle. And they fought their butts off to get back in the game. And they got back in the game. They never got ahead, but they tied it a number of times. And they played some really sound basketball. But once they got this game tied, the way it was called by the officials was greatly altered. K-State was called for 11 fouls in the first 28 plus minutes of the game. In the final 11, 48, 46, 16 fouls. K-State was called for 27 fouls in this game. The game was decided by 11. Iowa State scored 12 more points than K-State at the free throw line. It was very odd how this game boiled down because even with 2 minutes left, it was only a 4-point game. Okay? It's a 4-point game with 2 minutes left. And then an Iowa State player falls to the ground, trips over his own feet, dribbling the ball, and referee Jerry Pollard calls a foul on David Gasson. There was no foul there. It was just one of many of the bizarre things Jerry Pollard did throughout this game. I don't like to call out referees, but this was a weird night for Pollard. He seemed to make some really odd decisions. But calling a foul on Gasson right there was awful, and Jerome Tang apparently was upset. We couldn't see what he did on the TV set, but another one of the officials quickly called a technical foul. And right then the game was over, and Iowa State did nothing but go to the free throw line, and K-State was torched at that point. Earlier in the game, towards the end of the first half, there was a shot clock violation on Iowa State. The ball was rebounded. The ball was blown dead because they thought it hadn't hit the rim. Apparently it did brush the rim or something. I don't know, but K-State caught the ball. And when K-State caught the ball and the whistles blew, there was nearly 2 seconds left in the first half. Nearly 2 seconds. At least a full second ran off that clock after the whistle. K-State wanted it reviewed for a clock error, and Jerry Pollard told Jerome Tang they can't do that in the first half. Maybe that's the rule. I've never heard that rule. But I always thought if there was a timing error, they needed to correct it. And they didn't. Didn't matter. I mean, K-State wasn't going to score with 2 seconds, let alone 0.5, but it was just odd. Of all the things they review, they didn't review that. But that wasn't his best moment of the night. Late in the second half, as K-State is coming back, Dorian Finister catches an elbow out front for everyone to see. And it wasn't just one of those elbows that was by chance. The guard was going around Dorian and got his elbow up parallel to the top of his head, caught Dorian in the face. Blood came out. There was blood on the floor. Jerry Pollard saw this, immediately looked away and ignored like nothing happened. This was so obviously something that needed to be reviewed for a flagrant foul, and they didn't even stop for a moment to look at it. This was a weird one. Wipe it off, move on down. I'll have a daily delivered tomorrow or today, whenever this is, about that topic. This was an ugly game. It was horrific officiating. Horrific officiating. But I did think it was interesting, and this is just a note, a game note. The pregame spread was -9 Iowa State. Iowa State hadn't led by 9 for most of the second half. Because of all the free throws, they won by 11, got the cover. Just an interesting sidebar. That's a big reason why I don't gamble anymore. Just too many things go in to the outcome of a basketball game, including officials calling a foul every 47 seconds on Kansas State in the final 11 plus minutes of that game. Unreal.